by the light. Beat up like a douche in the middle of the night. Blinded by the light. I'm blinded by your sweater there, Eckert.
I know, it's pretty sweet, right?
What is that?
Coogee sweater, my friend.
And whose Coogee sweater would that be?
That is yours.
No, it's my dad's.
Oh, it's your dad's?
They're all my dad's.
Oh, are they?
I'm wearing one of my dad's Coogee sweaters. You're wearing one of my dad's Coogee sweaters. Sutter's wearing a Coogee sweater.
He's got the Easter one on.
Yeah, he's got the muted colored one on. You've got the...
I'm festive.
You've got the bright, but I would call that the matte finish version.
Matte finish?
And mine is the glossy bright, straight out of
Well, that's
Compton.
the one from the famous picture, right? The famous shaved Jared Polin picture?
Famous photo.
You should make an I Shoot Raw Coogee sweater.
Yes.
Oh my
An
gosh.
I Shoot Raw Coogee sweater. That would be pretty nice.
Pretty
I just thought it
expensive.
would be nice to wear a Coogee sweater now.
I have a couple.
Yeah, yours I want to wear so bad.
Mine are like the more updated, newer versions of Coogee sweater, I guess, because I have like a full sweat outfit and
The
I have a nice
pants
like all black.
match the shirt. They're awesome. Did you buy them?
I did.
How
but
did you buy them? Your parents let you buy that stuff?
Oh yeah. Well, I bought it with my own money. This is when I worked at like McDonald's when I was like 14 or something.
Damn, flipping burgers now.
Yeah, man.
Would you
The
like
only job I
fries
could
with
get.
that?
I hated it so much.
Would you like to supersize it for a quarter?
My whole paycheck would go to either shoes, being Jordans, or like Coogee sweaters or something ridiculous. Now I don't wear any of that stuff. Everyone goes through that phase.
Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com. Welcome to Coogee Talk episode number 128. This is no title.
No title.
Coogee, well, no title yet. We haven't
Untitled?
figured out what it's going to be. I always figure it out later. And then people are like, the title has nothing to do with the episode. Because if we put the title as the episode, it would be like 20 paragraphs long.
Oh yeah.
It'd be like, this week we talked about this. That's what subtitles are for.
Yes.
So we have stuff to talk about this week.
A lot of stuff.
There's lots of photo news.
Ton of photo news.
Lots of video-ish type news because NAB's right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting ready to go to NAB, which is right around the corner.
It is.
Nab.
Nyab.
Nab.
Is that what you'd like to call it?
I mean, that's sort of the theme on this show.
Well, one of the things we'll be doing there is hanging out with a lot of people, but we will definitely be hanging out with Atomos.
Yes.
Atomos is one of those people that have supported us for the last year and a half or so in terms of RAWtalk. They were one of the early sponsors to jump on board and understand how important it is to do this. And we've been now we're using the Atomos Shogun, which has been kicking ass.
Yeah.
And taking names. You know, the coolest thing about every time a new camera comes out.
Sorry, I'm looking at the Atomos now and realizing how ridiculous we look at these.
Well,
These
look
Coogee sweaters.
at the color on that. Oh, is it an OLED touchscreen?
I think it is.
It's like really nice and 7 inches of beauty. I mean, that's what I see is like 7
what she
inches of
said.
beauty.
It's funny because the stoplight's giving you all these different color like edges.
Oh yeah.
But you know what I think Atomos has done extremely well for the past 2.5 years is that they're synonymous now with video and recording for longer, but not just that. It's like when Canon comes out with a new camera, Sony comes out with a new camera, Nikon comes out with a new camera, the GH4 and all this stuff, compatible with
Atomos.
With Atomos.
Mm-hmm.
Even attaching it to a
Drone.
a Wally bird and using the Ninja Star.
Yeah,
But
or
hey,
a Wally bird.
They wrote me some notes.
Yeah.
These are good notes for me to read. You know, plugs and stuff.
Do it.
Announcement that will be made Monday of NAB. A $500 mail-in rebate available on the Sony A7S and Shogun if you buy them together.
Ooh.
Well, why not buy them together when you can save $500?
Well, with the A7S, to only record 4K, you need the Atomos too.
Right. Can be purchased at different times. Wow. From April 1st through June 30th and from different sellers. Just go to any Atomos or A7S reseller for more info, a.k.a. the biggest stores in the world are really the only places they're going to buy that stuff.
Yep.
Oh, and at NAB, they don't have one booth. Sutter, do you know how many booths they have?
Is it 2 booths, Jared?
It's 2. Can you spell NAB?
N-A-B. Nahab.
That is correct.
Trick question.
So they're having not 2 booths, 2 huge booths at this year's video show in Vegas, NAB.
H-U-G-E.
They're going to have a 4K dome. I don't know if that's somebody's head's a 4K. There's going to be presenters, huge raffles.
Does that mean 4K dome as in like they're presenting 4K footage in like a dome shape like Franklin Institute style?
Or Battle Dome.
Or
maybe.
Battle Dome?
I don't know. Maybe it's a 4K dome that's projecting 4K into
That's
the
what
ceiling.
I'm thinking.
Like a planetarium.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking for.
Welcome to the cosmos, where there are billions and billions of stars across the world's sky. Shit, the universe. Not just the world.
What, were you falling asleep?
yeah, sorry,
Yeah, but there's
his
one more
voice is
thing.
so
There's one
soothing.
more thing. There will be painted ladies.
Ooh.
So we are going to interview painted ladies. Excuse me. Hi, what's your name?
Oh, God.
I love that because the models hate talking.
They do.
They do. They don't want to ever talk.
They're
and I'm
always
like,
so awkward, too. Because they're not meant to really talk. They're just meant to...
that's sexist, Steven.
Dude, you know that's why
I
they're
hope they
getting
have
hired.
painted men.
There you go.
It's painted men. Hallelujah. It's painted men. Amen. There you go. Thank you. Atomos is celebrating the success of the Shogun. It's going to be a party.
Yeah. Woohoo. Party.
So anyway, we've talked about that quite a bit. We have it on the wheel. If you are new into video, the things that Atomos makes much easier, focusing, especially with something like this. Ahing was telling me that he wanted to borrow this, but we needed to use it.
Did he?
He wanted to take it to Florida because he's a focus puller. So he has trouble like looking at the smaller screens. But what he thought would be the best use for the Atomos, for the Shogun, is to load up a card in it, a hard drive, do his focus pulling from there, and save it at the same time, so they either have the dailies to go by,
There you go.
or it's already encoded in what they needed it in, so all the work was done. Not only does it have the awesome screen, but he could focus on it because it has the focus peaking and the
peaking, yeah.
zebras and all that, but it would also record it. So
That's
it's not
awesome.
just a monitor where he's doing it to a card or an external, it's all in one device that he could hand hold and do it at the same time.
That's great.
That was it. That's it.
Get out of here. Yeah.
Take that, right? Meow.
Right, meow.
Okay, let's get started, Steven, with not photo news. There were two things that happened here. We've got, we'll talk about that later. YouTube subscriptions. Did you see anything? I got an email yesterday as a YouTube partner.
No.
This is new.
Well, I'm not a YouTube partner, so I didn't see it.
It says, Dear YouTube partner, your fans want choices. Not only do they want to watch what they want to watch, blah, 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 blah. You can read this up on the site. We'll put this up there. Basically, what they are saying is, I'll read the damn thing. No, basically it's talking about subscriptions.
Okay.
We're excited to build on the momentum by taking another step into a favorite of offering fans an ads-free version of YouTube for a monthly fee. By creating a new paid offering, we'll generate a new source of revenue that will supplement your fast-growing advertising revenue. So what's next? So they're talking about launching the paid thing, what I had to click a button that said, yes, I agree to the new terms of services, that they're going to basically pay us 50. People don't know is you can make money on YouTube, but they give you 55% of the revenue, meaning they keep the other 45%. It's kind of a really terrible agreement.
It is.
But there's nothing you can do about it.
So what is the how much?
They haven't talked about pricing, but Vessel's doing $2.99 a month, and I think it's $2.99 a month across the board. So not $2.99 a month per subscription you have. It's $2.99
It's for every video you watch.
Well, yes. So it would be
That's not bad.
So if it's $2.99, it's not bad. But will I actually see a cut of that? Because it's all based off of time percentages. If they watch your video, you get X amount of cut. I don't know what algorithm they're going to do. And then the other option is, do I just offer my own paywall of $2.99 a month for people to watch ad video free? No ads on the video, which I don't want to do on my site. It could be an option. It's like $7.99 a month to get these videos, and you get them all with no ads on them or something like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I'd open it up to you because, I would pay $2.99 a month to have no ads because then I could watch whatever I wanted when I wanted on YouTube.
It's got to be more expensive than $2.99 because Vessel isn't even close to what YouTube is.
No, but Vessel started at $2.99.
Yeah.
So the question is, leave it down below. Would you pay $2.99 for YouTube to have no ads? Would you pay more money to have it on my own site so that all the revenue benefits the creator, in this case me or somebody else that was creating that did the same thing? Because I wouldn't get that $2.99. I would at most, you're not even going to get a buck of that $2.99 because it's going to be split across every video that people watch. So I just wanted to bring that up because that's something that's going to happen. And I tweeted it out yesterday, and people were like, I would never pay for that. But you know what? This is free content.
I think
not
I
just
would.
me, but everybody.
I watch YouTube enough to,
For $2.99,
even $5, I think I would do. But after that, past that,
well,
I
you
don't
got
know
to
if I
think
would.
you're paying $8.99 a month for Netflix.
For Netflix.
And look what you get with Netflix. But that's Netflix, and they're across like 20 million people.
And then you got Amazon Prime too with their video and
I have that as well.
Me too.
And so that's a lot of subscriptions. So that's that. I thought that would be important to bring up.
It is.
And I had one more thing to talk about. I put up a rapid fire Squarespace.
Oh.
Rapid fire Squarespace. A rapid fire Squarespace
You got a case
critique.
of the Sutter on spelling today.
Well, no, that's speaking.
I mean, whatever.
The case of the Sutter. Anyway, I put up the video, and it's the one we were discussing earlier. You saw the title that I was putting up, which is what. Not, and I'm not a big fan of doing definitives. Like, don't do this. I don't usually say that, but I did in this video. Don't do this if you shoot weddings or portraits. And what I was referring to, and I discuss it in the video, is don't put your pricing online for your package pricing. I think you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're strongly shooting yourself in the foot by doing pricing online like that. I'm a big fan of saying it's all right to say starting at. Like starting at $1,500 because then you're qualifying people. But if you say I've got this package and then it's $3,750 or I list this and somebody comes along and they're like, well, I see their pricings, but that's too expensive. Then they're just price shopping. You're never going to get the phone call or the email asking to make a deal.
Yeah.
So if you say starting at $1,500, you're qualifying at least they have $1,500 to spend. So then they're going to contact you. And when they go, how much are your weddings or stuff, you can't answer that question. You just can't answer that in an email. You need to know when's your wedding, where's your wedding, what's going on, what's this, what are you looking for? So the whole point of doing that on your website is to get people on the phone because this is a business. You are trying to make money and close the sale, close the deal. You have to be the person that gets them on the phone to make the sale. Because if people just look at your website, they're not just going to book you without ever talking to you. So the goal is to get them on the phone. If they ask you, hey, what are your pricing in email? You're like, well, I need to know certain things, but it would be much easier if we got on the phone and talked. And if they're just pushing you for pricing, I don't even go there. Pricing starts at $1,500 and goes up to and goes up from there.
It's not a definitive price. It
No, it's
depends
not.
on what package they want or what type of
Right,
how many people they want.
Exactly.
Et cetera.
It depends on so many different situations.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd be glad to get on the phone with you because we could do this in 5 minutes and get you all the information that you need. You have a much better chance of closing the deal when you get on the phone with somebody or
agree.
meet them in person. If you put your pricings up there, you may never even get the email or a phone call, so you don't have a chance to make the sale. So that is one of the only times I definitively say don't put your pricing online for that type of thing.
Now, what about for email? If they were to contact you via email, do you discuss pricing there or do you only do it on the phone? Because I know that's something big with you, right?
My goal is to get them on the phone.
Yeah.
Because if they're just pressing me for pricing, it could be another photographer asking for my prices, which I've done that before, but I've also gotten on the phone to get pricing for people. But I push hard. You know, it's like, look, based off of what you're saying, it sounds like it could be about X, but what's your budget? One of the major questions on the phone that you ask people first and foremost is, what is your budget?
Yeah.
You're qualifying them. You're able to then figure out what you can do. And if you're at $3,500 and they have $3,000 to spend, maybe they could stretch to $3,250 and you can come down a little bit to give them your best package option. I don't have a problem eating $250, aka not making $250 in order to make $3,250. You have to look at it that way. Do you want to lose the wedding over $250 or do you want to be booked and have that job? You know? So that's the point, is get them on the phone. What, Sutter? Yes, Sutter?
Well, back to
I saw your Coogee sweater go up.
Back to the email thing. I kind of learned my lesson. I don't ever send pricing through email anymore, especially with returning clients. Because when I first started shooting real estate, I sent a realtor my price list in an email. And then since then, I raised and changed my pricing and how I price a little differently. And I ended up shooting a house later on for that realtor. And they expected the price that I sent them a year before.
Inflation, man.
Well, you just need to...
And he was cool about it. And I was like, look, I raised my prices for these reasons. And he was like, oh, that's fair. But I ran into a little bit of a roadblock.
But I have this
weird.
coupon from that email that you sent me that says your pricing's this.
Yes, exactly. So that's just really what I wanted to talk about right there. Is I'm sure that's a controversial type of title because it's a definitive don't do this. But it's one of the only times that I really feel strongly about that for your website, that is a detraction. Let your work speak for itself. If they like you, they're going to contact you. It's all right to have a $1,500 qualifying point, and then you can go from there. Get people on the phone. Oh, so how much is it? Well, let me ask you, what's your budget? What are you doing? When is the wedding? First and foremost, to see if I'm booked yet. Plus, if you have no weddings at all booked, it's always good to say when is the date, because I may already be booked because I'm really busy.
There you go.
And that's just one of those things that's like, oh shit, if I don't book these guys, maybe they're gonna fill up. So you do stuff like that. Good.
Very good.
All right. Good.
Good.
Time for flying solo?
Yes.
No.
It's time for you
Got
to,
me on that one.
No.
It's time for you to pick some Coogee sweater music to lead
Ooh.
into photo news.
Biggie Smalls?
That's good music for photo news.
Excellent music.
Good choice from audioblocks.com.
Yes.
/go/row.
There you go. Photo news. First up, we got you can now boot up Linux on your Canon DSLR thanks to Magic Lantern. They discovered how to get access to the bootloaders, so they decided to try and run a completely different operating system on the camera. Now, it can theoretically work on all Magic Lantern-enabled cameras, but so far they've confirmed that it boots on the 60D, T3i, 7D, 5D Mark II, and 5D Mark III. Now, the team says this will be huge for developers. They'll be able to implement new features cleanly and access the camera's hardware directly. They encourage the public to help them out since they're not too experienced in this particular area. So they put the binary and source code up for free download. Now, who knows what this could bring? This could be a lot better than what they're doing now, because now they're just kind of tweaking their firmware, and now they're actually going to be able to access the hardware directly. So
So it could unlock the potential of people to do something even more extravagantly awesome with like Linux. Like maybe you could play a game.
maybe. Who
I mean,
knows?
because that's what I want to do on the back of my camera.
Oh wait, I'm shooting a wedding. I'm almost finished this game.
Hold on. I'm on my TI-83 and I'm playing Snake.
Look,
Look, I can play Doom on the back
There
of
you
my
go.
5D Mark III.
Doom. Speaking of Doom, go to store.froknowsphoto.com to check out the new Doom shirt. 8-bit. Popping up on the screen right now.
Ooh. Joey L debuted a new video series this week called Dudes with Cameras. Excellent name. Mainly documentary style video with like voiceover commentation kind of thing. The series offers a behind the scenes look into Joey's lifestyle and photo shoots around the world. The first episode features Joey in kind of like an introduction into his busy lifestyle. It's generally about shooting photos for National Geographic's show Life Below Zero in a northern region of Alaska that's above the Arctic Circle. In another episode, Joey documents how he created a portrait of actor Michael K. Williams, and then the other episode
Who
showcases
plays Chalky White?
how Joey and his crew traveled
White on-
to I got nothing.
Yeah, no, that's the actor. He played Chalky White on Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, really? I don't remember Chalky White. I only watched the first season, though.
Dude, Chalky's like a really good character.
I don't know. Another episode showcases how Joey and his crew traveled to Canada to do a shoot for Canon and its L series lenses.
Where'd they go?
They went to Canada.
Oh, Canada, our home and shit. I think it's my. Can we? Should we stand for the "Oh Canada" singing? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons' command. With glowing hearts we see the rise. The wrong salute. The strong and true.
Terrible.
Now in French.
So he has a website dedicated to the series along with a YouTube channel that he just started up. But it's really interesting, just the whole behind-the-scenes aspect and what goes into it. This guy travels nonstop.
Yep.
Nonstop. Really cool stuff. A lot of GoPro shot type selfie sticks going on, too, in the whole video series.
Yep.
What'd you think about it?
I forwarded it over to you to take a look at.
You didn't watch any of them?
I just skipped through. Were they like 5-6 minutes long?
A lot of them about 6 minutes long, yeah. I watched the first episode, but I
what
didn't watch
he
any
does,
after
where
that.
he goes to incredible places.
Yeah. When it's a cool like behind-the-scenes look, too, into like the actual
Seeing
photo
how he goes
shoot.
about doing it.
Yeah, stuff like that. This is very cool. The team at Brain Farm Cinema strapped a Phantom Flex 4K onto a drone for the world's first 1,000 frames per second 4K drone footage. Before making the video, Kurt Morgan, who's Brain Farm CEO, notes that this will either be the most technical advanced drone camera flight of all time or the $250,000 crash. Since the Flex 4K...
that's what insurance is for.
That is true. The Flex 4K sells for between $109,000 and $164,000.
Keep smiling.
Just for the body.
Keep shining.
Depending on the
knowing
configuration.
That I'll always count on you. For sure. That's what lens tag's for.
Where did you get that from? What did I say that struck that?
You said
That's what insurance is for.
That's what insurance
You
is
said
for.
that's what insurance
I
is for.
said, and it cued.
I was like, I didn't say anything.
That's what friends are for.
Now, the Phantom alone weighs 14 pounds without even a lens attached. The total payload setup with lens and viewfinder was about 30 pounds, so they needed a pretty beefy drone to do the weightlifting. They teamed up with an Intuitive Aerial and used their Aragon drone.
Oh yeah.
Aragon drone?
It's the Aragon. Yeah.
The resulting video is super slow motion footage of a truck driving through puddles. The team writes that the world of options this technological combination will open up is about to break the ceiling of possibility in digital cinematic storytelling.
It was cool.
It was cool. I expected kind of a little more, but it was pretty cool. The behind-the-scenes video and footage, it's up on the website.
Especially when it's shooting 1,000 frames a second, you expect super slow mo.
I mean, it was super slow-mo.
I mean, it was kind of.
It reminds me of Finding Nemo when Dory's talking whale. Anyone?
I actually never saw Finding Nemo.
Damn. What?
That's like the one Pixar, right? Is it Pixar? The one Pixar movie I
What's
didn't
it?
see.
Wallaby Way?
42 Wallaby. I don't know.
42
Sydney.
Wallaby Way.
Something like
I
that.
never saw it, so I can't
Dude,
comment.
you need to go watch some Finding Nemo with your niece.
I know. Well, now I should. Now I'm getting caught up on all my childhood movies because she's just rewatching all of them nonstop. And Frozen about 1,000 times.
Which I have not seen.
I also have not seen.
Frozen's good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I can't rip on you for Frozen because I haven't seen that other one.
Right, Frozen's newer.
Yeah, way newer. Now, speaking of drones, DJI revealed their latest consumer drone this week, the Phantom 3.
You got it wrong.
Huh? Oh. DJI revealed their latest consumer drone. The Phantom 3. The major update to the Phantom is now that it offers 4K video. Now, they split the drone into a series of 2 different drones, the advanced version, which shoots 1080 at 60 frames per second, and the professional version, which comes complete with a 4K camera capable of shooting 4K at 30 frames per second. Now,
And 24 and 25.
Well, yeah. At max, I should say. Now, both cameras shoot 12 megapixel stills in both JPEG and DNG RAW formats, just like the predecessors. Now, the new distortion-free lens has a 94-degree field of view. The camera has a 0.3-inch sensor that is more sensitive to light than previous Phantom cameras.
10 times more sensitive.
The Phantom 3 has
Not
a 3...
actually 10 times more sensitive.
It has a 3-axis gimbal that provides pan and tilt control. Looks to be similar, if not the same, as the Vision 2 Plus. Unlike the Inspire one, though, you can't remove the camera. Copying off its big brother, the Phantom 3 has a visual positioning system, which uses sensors to help the drone operate indoors without GPS. In the preview video, they're actually like flying it inside a church during a staged wedding.
Yeah, because
I would never do.
You know, that's where I want to use my DJI Phantom.
Dude, they're flying it like this is the bride and groom. They're flying it like right here.
I saw.
God forbid it crash or something at a real wedding.
Watch it just. Oh, my eye. Oh, my bride.
I feel like that is the
wasn't there
most
a video?
unrealistic video.
Wasn't there a video of a drone, like an engagement video or something, where he flew into the groom?
Yeah, well, that was like an outside portrait
Yeah,
session.
yeah.
It looked like, and he just smacked. But that was like the day before the wedding, I believe.
Yeah.
When
It
they were
wasn't
doing the
day of.
formals. Let's see. Now, it has a dedicated home button on the controller now. Battery life is rated at about 23 minutes of flight time, too, and it's a new battery.
It is. We just got
battery.
verification because we asked, because when we get it, we're like, oh, well, we already have 3 DJI Phantom 2 batteries. Did you? And we ended up, I emailed, and because I couldn't find information anywhere.
Yeah.
And we were told that, no, unfortunately, the batteries aren't backwards compatible.
Yeah. Now, the old battery, I believe it was only 21 minutes, you had said.
Something like that,
of flight
18 to
time.
21 minutes.
18. Actually, it might have been 18. But yeah, so it's 23 minutes now, and it is a completely new battery. Also borrowed from the Inspire one, it now has light bridge technology controls for showing the pilot what the drone sees in 720p from up to 1 mile away with almost no
awesome.
latency. Yeah, that's really good. You could even live stream to YouTube if you want.
Which is stupid.
I mean, I think DJI, I guess, did that when they did the reveal for the Inspire
They
1.
attempted to do. Well, no, they did it yesterday on their live
Did they do it
broadcast.
yesterday, too? I didn't
from,
watch it.
From Singapore. Now, in Singapore, from that tall-ass building that everybody shoots,
Yeah.
they flew out of it. They were having a party.
That's
they
pretty
flew
cool.
out the balcony and then flew it out and then turned it around at the building. That was pretty cool.
Let's see, full manual controls as well. Camera settings such as ISO, shutter speed, and exposure compensation can be controlled entirely through the Pilot app and the interface of the Phantom 3's remote controls. The new app features a self-editing function for sharing professionally edited aerial videos instantly. It also does flight logging to help document flight stats. It'll be available this May, with the advanced version coming in at about $1,000 and the professional version being $1,259.
Just buy the a professional version. There's no reason
Professional
not
version.
to buy the professional version.
Yeah, for an extra $250.
One other thing. Do you have more?
That is it.
All
They
right.
do. Well, I think you're gonna.
Well, it also has what?
I was gonna say your comment about that, like test flying, the test flight.
Well,
the
the
app?
test pilot.
Yes, that's what it's
it was just it's like you can sit there with the remote
And practice.
and practice flying it indoors without turning your Phantom on.
That's really
because
cool.
it's a test pilot or test pilot thing.
A simulator, pretty
a simulator.
much.
Yeah, flight. That's what it's called. Flight simulator. So you have a flight simulator to test out and try, which is cool. Look, this is a major advancement from the DJI Phantom 2.
Yeah.
Now with the bottom-facing cameras to help stabilize it, especially indoors. The new remote that you can control the camera from instead of having to touch the screen, you just
That's
hit
great.
a trigger to take pictures, or you rotate the gimbal from here. It's good. What I see us needing to do is to get an iPad for it, because the iPad's going to be bigger than the iPhone to see it, and I want something big if somebody's going to fly it.
Yep.
I can see us getting one for taking to where we're going to do a trip soon. I just think it's going to be a great addition to make shows even better. We were invited up to the reveal, and that was my choice for us not going, because I wanted to have an advanced reveal like we did with the Inspire 1, which we got hands on before, and I didn't want to just go to an event where you're going to sit there and have these guys on stage touting how amazing this is, and now you can go look at it sitting over there in the corner.
Whoa.
Then it wasn't going to be worth it for us to go up there and do that.
Yeah.
It really wasn't worth going up to New York. If we were in New York and it was only a 2-hour window, but when you travel, when it's 4 hours of traveling, it's not really worth it for us when there was a lot of other editing and stuff to get done.
Oh, yeah.
But it is pretty cool. It's priced to sell,
It's definitely priced to sell.
and it could be good for real estate photography. Would you fly it through a room?
I don't know. I mean, it depends. If it was a space like this, yeah, I'd probably fly it in here. But it would be more, at least in my hands, to look at the property. So fly it up above the
That's
house
what I
to
was
see the
thinking, too.
whole.
To do the fly
The
up
fly over.
and then over
Yeah.
and around and do that thing. It's just so awesome. And then you get some awesome music from,
Audioblocks.com.
and then you just make it fly, and
it's
it
gonna
looks
be
cool,
Epic.
bro.
Bro.
But I do feel like this is essentially the Inspire 1, minus like the removable payload and a couple other features.
Smaller,
obviously.
not as powerful, doesn't last battery as long, less
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it's not like with the 4K option now in this professional version. That's great. You know, you don't have to dish out the $3,000 for the Inspire 1.
Yep.
You
Do you
can
have
now
high
get-
hopes for the camera on this one?
We'll see.
I think it's going to be very similar to the.
I think it's gonna
the
be very
same-
similar.
It's the same camera that's in the other one, just not removable payload, which wasn't terrible. It's just if you can dumb down some of the, if you can go in. See, when we used the Inspire 1, it's not like we sat there and we set up the camera because we didn't have much time there.
You
And
just
we
kind of
didn't-
like fly it.
And the app wasn't finished, so it didn't really let us. It didn't let us make
It was
changes.
like a beta app, I think he
Right.
said.
So it's. I don't know that it's as good as the GoPro quality, but like they say, with the field of view is meant for aerial, where the GoPro isn't.
GoPro is 170 degree, I think, field
And
of
this is
view.
94.
This is 94, which in turn will be straight horizons, that kind of stuff. So it will be much better for the aerial photography and video. Let's see. Moving on, we got Nikon has jumped on the selfie stick bandwagon and released their own official selfie stick. It's called the NMP001 or the NMB001. The standard-looking selfie stick allows you to conveniently and easily take selfies or self-portrait photos. Get out of here. At its smallest size, it's 7.28 inches tall and extends to 28.54 inches.
Hi. I'm extending my selfie stick at you right now.
Oh, God.
Hello.
So basically it'll extend to like 2 feet. It'll support cameras that weigh up to nearly a pound. The bottom of the stick has a foam grip and a hand strap. Now, no remote triggering option built in like some of the more advanced selfie
Which
sticks.
is absolutely stupid. If you're going to build a selfie stick, have in there a Bluetooth remote, like the Hissy.
Yeah. Like
Hi C.
Now, it's compatible with their full range of Coolpix cameras. That's what it's pretty much specifically for. And it'll set you back $60. That's a pricey one. I think GoPro's official selfie stick is like $70 or around that price.
I've got
wrong.
a selfie stick. Do you want to see my selfie stick?
Ooh.
Hey, it's built in. As long as you have arms, you've got a selfie stick.
There you go.
I mean, I feel like you could just go to Walmart, get a $15 monopod, and get like a little phone attachment in your set.
You could get literally a stick from the forest and gaff tape it and walk around.
Hey, DIY selfie
DIY.
stick.
I'm still gonna make the world's largest selfie stick. I had some people tweet about that to me. I'll do it.
God. A new Colorado bill would punish officers who interfere with photographers. This is pretty much the opposite of what lawmakers have been trying to do in recent proposed bills that we talked about on here.
Probably in Texas.
The state is considering several bills that would increase police oversight, and one of the bills, specifically House Bill 15-1290, punishes police officers who interfere with people who are lawfully using their cameras. Now, the bill's official name is, in quotes, concerning prohibiting a peace officer from interfering with a person lawfully recording a peace officer-involved incident, end quote. It states that if a person is lawfully documenting a police officer and then has their camera taken or destroyed by an officer without a warrant, they are entitled to actual damages, $15,000, and attorney fees and costs. Now, it goes on to state that even if a police officer intentionally interferes with a person's ability to take photos, that person is entitled to damages, $15,000, and legal fees.
So that's like
big.
putting a hand up in front of the lens or something.
Yeah, I guess so. Joe Salazar, who co-sponsored the bill, says that, in quotes, primarily it came up as a result of the number of news reports we've been seeing about police officers telling people, give me your camera, or taking the data away, and that is unacceptable conduct, end quote. Now, you can read the full 2-page bill over on the website, which is
furnosphoto.com/rawtalk-128.
I mean, that'd be a big win for photographers, especially the fact that even if he gets in the way, interfering, I mean, that's huge. $15,000 legal fees.
I'm not going to sue the guy unless I'm not a sewer type guy.
I'm not either.
But it all depends. I mean, I showed you bring it up, that video that was going around all week about an officer shooting a guy in the back 8 times while he ran away with no weapon or no reason to shoot him. Mm-hmm. Pretty damn insane. If somebody wasn't there. Do you know what the story is? Do you know the story behind it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know, is that there's footage of an officer unloading into the guy's back as the guy runs away. First off, don't run away.
Yeah.
But second off, the officer says in his report that there was a skirmish and the guy grabbed his taser.
Yeah.
And then he shot him.
Like 8 times.
8 times. The video shows the guy running away with no weapon or anything in hand, running away. The officer unloads into his back, runs back to his car, picks up the taser, and then drops it next to the guy. Mm-hmm. And if somebody wasn't there filming it, there is no way in hell this guy wouldn't be being charged with murder right now.
Yeah.
Which
because
the
I
officer
believe in his statement.
Well, you take the officer's statement.
Yeah.
And they go, well, he grabbed my thing, and if nobody was there to corroborate
which was
it,
released prior to the video.
How do you think you're gonna? So not only did he lie, he murdered the guy for no. I mean, I don't know what happened before. You don't know what happened before. But a guy running away probably shouldn't be shooting him in the back 8 times
Shooting anyone
him at all.
In the back, yeah.
I don't even want to get into this too much.
I don't either.
But anyway, I just brought that up because, I mean, it all comes down to mutual respect on both sides. If you're going to be threatened and your life is in danger, maybe you shouldn't put up a fight and say, no, you can't have my camera. Because your life is worth more than your camera or the footage that's probably on it, unless they're going to shoot you anyway and then delete your footage. I'm just saying, try to be respectable, as Sutter Eckerd would say.
Respectful would be in that.
I believe in that way it would be respectful.
Try to be respectful of peers in general. Yes, no?
I agree, yeah. Anyway, this story might sound familiar. A photographer showcased the insane amount of photos a 512 gigabyte CF card holds. Photographer Jared Polin stuck his Lexar CF card into his D4S and found out it could hold up to 347,000 JPEG basic images or 13,800 full 16 megapixel RAWs.
That's me.
Oh my God, that is you.
That's me. That's my story.
You made the news.
I made Petapixel.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
How did you do that?
I emailed him, and then 5 minutes later, it was up there.
Now, the D4S is rated for 400,000 shutter actuations. So this could definitely be like the only card you would ever need to put in your camera.
Theoretically, if you wanted to shoot JPEG basic for the rest of the life of that camera,
Sounds like a plan to me.
You could put it in the camera.
You don't shoot JPEG?
I don't.
Oh, I thought you did.
But that was a pretty good
what a
video.
weenie.
You shot raw. The CF card alone, though, is nearly $900, by the way.
Lexar 512 gigabyte card. I did go and shoot with it.
Yeah.
Because that's where the idea came from, for me to see how many JPEGs or RAW files it
So
had.
the card's probably full now, right?
No. No, I went and shot with it, and I shot with that in one slot and an XQD Sony card in the other slot. takes 20 seconds or more to reformat the CF card.
Oh my God.
When you turn the camera on after it sits, you can shoot, but the green light stays on
'Cause it has to read
as
through
it's
the
reading
entire
through
card.
the card.
Yeah.
When you turn it off, it doesn't turn off until it's done reading through the card. So if you were to pull the card early, you're screwed. And then when I was shooting, sometimes when you pressed a review button, it just waited and waited and waited.
It's gotta find
to
it.
show me the images.
Wow.
I pulled the card and put in a smaller card.
Yeah.
Because I thought that it would be a good
That's
idea
good to know,
if
though.
you travel and you're traveling the world and you just leave a 512 in the camera
As a full internal backup.
right, as an internal backup. That would be great. If it was a CFast card, it probably would have been much quicker.
Like that, yeah.
But in this case, it's not ready for prime time as a backup because when I go to review an image, there's a reason sometimes I chimp really quick to make sure of something and get back to shooting real quick, and it would slow it down, so I had to pull it.
Wow. So does that slow it down, just the initial transfer, or just the reading of the images?
Both.
Then?
At some points, like it would transfer, but then if your camera was sitting and then you press the play button, it wouldn't show me the image for like 8 seconds.
And
not every time, but after it loaded and I turned it off, turned it on, it was fine. But for that one time where it hiccups and waits 8 seconds,
Yeah.
I can't do it. Or when you turn it off and camera's still on until it finishes reading, can't do it.
Well, that's like my computer now, since I have the 20 terabyte Drobo attached to it. Ever since I installed the 20 terabytes, it now takes like an extra minute to start up because it has to read through the entire hard drive and then start up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bummer, but in the end, it still saves me storage and all that. Let's see. A GoPro was found in Sweden 4 years after it was dropped from a skydiver 10,000 feet in the air. The memory card was intact, so the man who found it uploaded it to YouTube in hopes of finding the owner. The description read, "Are you the right skydiver? Please let me know so we can return the camera and memory card."
Or are you the wrong skydiver? Do you know what my meep meep is from?
Is it from Sesame Street?
The Muppets.
Or Muppets.
Muppets.
Excuse me.
The Swedish chef. And Beaker.
The owner was found and got his GoPro back, which is great. The video is posted, but it's like a nauseating watch as the GoPro goes into like a death spin for 2 minutes until it finally hits the ground. It's just the entire time.
Isn't it just like blurry
It's a
lines?
kaleidoscope.
Yeah,
and
that's how you
I
described it.
I described it as a kaleidoscope. Can you get that piece of fuzz right there? That white thing? Yeah. Thanks.
Boom. Another rugged camera was found after it was at the bottom of the Indian Ocean for 3 months. The Lumix GH4 was found stuck in between coral reef and rocks off the coast of the Maldives, which is like an island country in Asia, about 61 feet underwater.
Maldives?
Maldives, is that what it's called?
Could be.
I don't know. Maldives.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either. It was found by John New, NG. John NG. I want to say New. Who is an underwater photographer, part of the Scuba Monster team.
Keep going. I'm going to refrain from trying to say his name.
He was surprised to see that the Naughty Cam housing around...
Naughty Cam, you're such a naughty little camera.
I just paused there for a second because I was waiting for you to react.
Naughty are you? Just such a little naughty cam.
As a nautical cam.
Oh, shit. Not the naughty cam. Hey, babe. Do you want me to break out the naughty cam?
Now, the housing around the camera was still sealed, and it had the camera inside, which was perfectly fine. He then contacted Nauticam China and used the serial number on the housing to find the owner, who was a Malaysian photographer who lost the camera to strong currents back in December of last year. So,
Meaning he lost the camera because he wasn't holding on to it.
pretty much, yes. Yes. To celebrate the start of the baseball season, which was this past week, a collection of photos of presidents throwing the ceremonial first pitch is now online.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the Phillies. If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes. You're out at the old ball game. Doot, doot, doot. Play ball. And then you could do the Harry Carey version. A 1, a 2, a 3. Let's go, Cubbies.
We ate at his lovely airport restaurant in
Which was
Chicago.
tasty.
It was good, yeah. I had that brownie.
No, you didn't have a
No,
brownie.
it was a cookie.
It was
with ice cream.
It was a skillet cookie
melted on top.
A hot skillet cookie
So
with
good.
ice cream on top.
So good.
Yeah, that's what you had.
Let's see. President William Howard Taft started the tradition in the U.S. in 1910, throwing a pitch in Washington, D.C. on the opening day of the Washington Senators season. Now, since Taft, every president minus Jimmy Carter has thrown out at least one opening day first pitch. The first color image from the series is from Reagan's pitch in 1988. Fun fact.
Why would that be the first color in 1988?
That's what it was, 1988. Now, they threw it from the stands up until Reagan's term as well, where he finally got behind the mound. So they used to always have like an
on the
American
mound.
flag draped. Yeah. And then it's just interesting to see how photography has progressed over
I
time.
love these photos. I came
And
across
they all
this.
totally throw like girls, by the way.
Not all of them.
Most of them look like it.
The only one. No, see, a couple of them. Yeah, like Nixon looked like he didn't know how to throw.
The first Bush.
I think like Eisenhower had. One of them had a really like you could just see when somebody knows how to throw. Whether they're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter. There's guys that throw like weird, and there's girls that throw weird. It doesn't matter. You throw weird, you throw
you
weird.
throw like a girl.
Yeah, yeah. Your mom, you eat your toe cheese or whatever it was. What'd you call me? What'd you say? Our field. 4:00. You're going down.
That kid was a good actor.
The great Hambino.
He was so upset. So upset.
Oh yeah, he was. So I was talking about throwing. The only one that really knew how to throw was W2.
W2?
Yeah. It's the only thing he could actually do was throw a pitch.
Yeah.
And you can see that he's wearing a flak jacket underneath.
Yeah.
He's like wearing a bulletproof vest.
Is he really?
I'm sure
you can
all
see it
are.
in the and that's why like Obama can't throw,
Well, especially going out on the mound, I guess they have to.
just in case somebody has a sniper rifle from 2 miles away.
There you go.
But yeah, he that's why he has such a big jacket on. But no, Obama can't throw the ball very well.
Canon has unveiled a new hybrid camcorder that shoots both 4K and 12 megapixel stills. It's called the XC10 or the XC10. It's a tiny camera weighing just 2.3 pounds and measuring just 5 inches always. Canon says this camera can easily be mounted on drones as well. Along with the photo option, users can also extract still photos from video footage, is what they're saying. A built-in function lets you pull 8 megapixel photographs from 4K footage you recorded. Now, spec-wise, it sports a Digic DV5 processor, their newest, with a 1-inch CMOS sensor with 12 stops of dynamic range, an ISO range of 160 to 20,000. It has a 10 times 8.9 to 89 millimeter f2.8 to 5.6 zoom lens with a 2 times digital teleconverter and optical IS, which is a 35 millimeter equivalent range of 24 to 240 millimeters for still photos and 27 to 270 for video. Now, it also has a tilting touchscreen LCD and a rotating hand grip for those low angles. Plus, it has 5-axis image stabilization during full HD recording, an SLR-type shutter, microphone and headphone jacks, a built-in microphone, 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz networking, CFast and SD slots, a mechanical shutter for eliminating rolling shutter effects, 3.8 frames per second for stills. It takes the same battery as their Pro DSLRs too, which is the LPE6, and it has a built-in ND filter. Now, there's also a viewfinder attachment that allows you to shoot eye level as well. It records to these codecs, XFAVC 422 intra-frame recording for 4K at 305 megabits a second, and XFAVC long GOP coding for 1080 at 50 megabits per second. It also does 1080 at 60 frames per second too. Now, XFAVC is Canon's brand new codec based on the H.264 codec, which is high quality and a small size. It's also compatible with the Atomos Shogun that we're recording on right now.
For 4K backup.
For 4K video backup, yeah, with the camera's clean HDMI out feature. Now, this will be available this June starting at $2,499, which is a pretty good price for what this thing packs.
So does it say what record time is?
It doesn't say what record. At least I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't see that either. I just thought of that. Is it $29.59? Is it going to be infinite because it's not a still camera, but maybe it is a still camera because it's a hybrid?
That's a good question. I don't know.
So this is
I'm assuming it's infinite.
$29.59.
No, I think it's probably.
I'm sure it's infinite.
I think it's
because they're
infinite.
marketing it as a video camera.
We'll have to see.
Specifically, a
we'll
digital
have to, well,
camcorder.
We're
they're
meeting
saying.
with Canon at NAB.
Yeah.
So we're going to
That's a
see
good
out
question.
there. That is a question. I mean, I'm sure we may find the answer soon enough before we get there, but this is an interesting camera. The way that they're marketing it is that it's for journalists and photographers and writers and people that need to quickly get information out there.
Documentary
that can
style,
do,
yeah.
Right, documentary style, that they can not only shoot the video, but then go back and find the frame they want and save it as a JPEG to the card. I'm not saying that's going to take away from photographers because, you know, if it's blurry, see, that's another thing. If you're shooting at 1/50th of a second, right?
Yeah.
The stills that you're going to pull may be of blurry nature.
Depending on what you're shooting, yeah.
So are you going to start speeding up your shutter? You know, there's a whole different thing. It's an interesting camera. We're going to try to get one for a trip that we have coming up in May. Maybe we can. I don't know if the bokeh is as good, especially with a 1-inch sensor. You know, it's smaller. Is the color going to be as good as with a DSLR or not?
And this thing's small. I mean, it's 5 by 5 by
And
5.
2 inches, you know,
It's tiny.
2 pounds. And touchscreen is great.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, it's a very intriguing camera. It's forward thinking for the future. Being able to pull stills is going. We're getting there. We're getting to that place. It has CFast and it has SD cards. We'll talk about CFast in a minute when you introduce the next camera. But it's a, you know, for $2,500 to do 4K but the only thing is it has a built-in lens, which 27 to 2 something isn't bad.
It's everything.
But it's not like you're putting a 51.4 or 51.2 on it, or a 70 to 200.
The fact that it's
and
2.8
having
to
that
5.6.
ability. Right. So that's one of those things.
Now,
Plus, it's a smaller sensor.
I also wonder too about this new codec from Canon. I wonder how good it is, what the main difference is. I mean, they're saying it's based on the H.264 codec. Is it better? Is it worse? I don't know. Who knows?
We'll have to find out.
Yeah. Now, another new video camera from Canon. They've officially announced the C300 Mark II. It shoots 4K with an 8.85 megapixel 35 millimeter sensor. Super 35 millimeter sensor. It has the ability to record 10-bit 422 4K broadcast or cinematic resolutions video internally at 410 megabits per second using their new codec again, or 10 or 12-bit 444 files in 2K and full HD, which is awesome. Frame rate wise, it'll shoot 4K at 30p or up to 120p in 2K and 1080.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's really
120
good.
frames a second at 2K.
120 in 2K and
imagine,
full HD 1080.
Like you're shooting at 2K or you're shooting at 4K, you can do cropping in that case to get the shots that you're looking for. To get that digital push that Todd always talks about, except you're not losing quality if you're delivering in 1080. I think at this point, if you're shooting with this camera, you're not going to deliver in less than 2K.
Oh, yeah.
I think you don't go below 2K at this point. So
Now, it has major improvements in dynamic range and advanced reductions in false color, moire, and noise. It can now capture 15 stops of dynamic range. It used to be 12 on the original C300. It has dual-digit DV5 processors, which is probably why it can shoot 2K at 444. It has dual-pixel CMOS AF, ISO range from 100 to 102,400. Doubt you'll ever shoot that much, but if you're like news style, you might have to. It supports 4-channel audio recording in 16 or 24-bit at 48 kilohertz. Built-in ND filter, now expandable up to 10 stops, which used to be 6. Dual CFast card slots and a single SD card slot. So that's 3 slots total. It can simultaneously record 4K RAW to an external recorder like the Shogun, the Atomos Shogun. It can also record 2K full HD proxy files to the SD card slot at the same time, which is huge for editing.
Yeah, which means you load the proxy files and then just link it up with the other files later.
Yep,
to save your hardware all that issue.
Now, this thing will be available in September for about $16,000 in either EF or PL mounts. So
here's a couple things. Definitely go over to the site and watch the videos of that guy talking about the camera. It's unbelievable. I loved watching it because I learned a lot just by listening to what they had to say. I still don't understand why it doesn't have a touchscreen, especially that it has the dual pixel AF, which is awesome. I just rather be able to touch it and tell it where to go rather than having to touch the back, more of the camera or control, unless you had a remote that could move the stuff around, or if you could plug your phone into it and tell it where to touch, there's your touchscreen. That would be pretty cool if you had that ability. I like that they had this focus helper thing, even for manual focus, that would line up the boom and tells you if you're going this way after post-focus or pre-focus. It's pretty cool. I mean, this is an unbelievable looking camera.
Yeah.
It really is, and I could see using it for what we do in terms of travel shows and doing things like that.
I would love to use something like this.
Like they spent a lot of time taking this to the next level, and you just got to watch that video to see how really cool. I mean, 16 grand's expensive, but maybe as a rental, it's a great thing to take. Just it looks like a cool camera.
Very cool camera. Hopefully
And we're gonna get a hands on it over there at NAB.
At NAB.
NAB.
Nikon announced new firmware for select Nikon DSLR cameras, including the D4S, D810, and D750. Now, the new firmware will improve workflow for professional video applications by enhancing capability with third-party external recording devices like the Atomos Shogun. The new firmware will allow the Atomos Shogun or the Ninja 2 external recorder to recognize recording and start-stop commands of the external recorder and can be synced with recording start-stop commands of the camera.
What the hell does that mean, Steven?
I believe that means you can start and stop it with the actual external recorder, not on the camera. Canon, I think, already lets you do this in camera.
Interesting.
Now Nikon is adding this functionality in their cameras.
Well, when's that coming out?
It'll be available in late summer 2015 as a free download. Now, let's see. Demonstrations of the firmware will be available at both the Nikon and Atomos booths at NAB from Monday.
Guess what's going to be at the
until Thursday.
Atomos booths?
What? Shoguns?
Painted women.
Ooh. April 13th to April 16th is when they'll be demonstrating that. And again, that firmware is late summer 2015.
Yeah.
Surprised it's not earlier, that firmware.
It's going to be interesting to see if Nikon gets left behind in the video game.
Yeah, but they're really pushing video, especially what I'm going to talk about next.
I mean, the video, I like the quality of my video that I get from the Nikon.
We shoot RAWtalk on Nikon D610s.
Yeah,
three
I mean,
D610s.
we could shoot it on anything, really.
We're kind of all over the place. So we do Canon sometimes, we do Nikon sometimes. I still think Nikon isn't
Sharper.
as good. Well, I still think Nikon is definitely sharper, but if you shoot neutral or flat in Canon and sharpen in post, then I think it looks sharper.
Well, you
It
can
all
shoot
depends
flat
how you
in
edit it.
Nikon now, too.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to get us 3 D750s to replace the D610s.
That would be
Hopefully
great.
Nikon will abide by that.
Yeah.
Because that will help us just a newer camera.
Yeah. How long have we had these for?
We've had them for over a year.
a year?
Yeah.
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 I
At
don't know
least a
why
year.
I was just going to say 3 years.
They haven't been out for 3 years.
I know. Nikon is now offering a filmmaker's kit for the D810, just like their D750 filmmaker's kit. It's going to include the same exact kind of stuff, the 35mm 1.8 lens, the 85 1.8, and the 50 1.8. The kit also contains 2 additional EN-EL15 batteries, an ME1 stereo microphone,
Crap.
one Atomos Ninja 2 external recorder,
Like it.
and Tiffin 67 and 58mm variable ND filters, which
They work.
is up to 8 stops, which is great. And that's it for that one.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of video news.
whole lot of
I
video
mean, that's
news.
what NAB is all about. That's why you're seeing a lot of video news right now.
Because everything's getting announced this week.
NAB is all about video and toys.
Yeah, and we'll
And- but
probably
every-
have a lot next week, too.
Well,
on photo news.
90% of the world or more that has a DSLR that they've had over the last 5 years, they have video capability.
Oh, yeah. We got a couple more news stories. Snapseed has been upgraded to the new 2.0 version. This literally happened right before we started recording. Literally. It features new tools including lens blur, tonal contrast, intelligent perspective transform, and spot healing. You can now selectively apply filters and effects to parts of the image using the brush tool, which is great. It now also allows non-destructive editing via stacks,
Which we tested out for 12 seconds right before the show.
it's kind of just like a history.
It's like a history. You can go back to...
Allows you to re-edit or undo any
Yeah,
changes
it was
that
cool.
you already did. Where before you'd have to reset the entire image, which sucked.
And I'm curious because it did something interesting when I hit save.
Really?
If I reopen that image again, will it still have the history saved with it? Because it's
stacks.
non-destructive. So it said saving, and it went through the different changes that I made before it finished saving the file.
Did it say what it's saving it as format-wise?
But
or-
I haven't had a chance to take a look.
Yeah.
But right off the rip, it looked pretty good and useful.
I'm assuming it just saves it as the same way as before. What was the options, like PNG and JPEG? And
I didn't know it had options.
Didn't it have options
I don't
before?
know. I just saved it.
Now you can also copy edits from one image to another, so you can do
Huh.
like bulk editing.
That's cool.
And I think Visco Cam does that already.
Visco just within like the last month.
Okay.
I think
Recently, yeah.
did bulk editing. And the other thing that's cool about Visco is in your gallery you can go to old photos and re-edit because it saves all your edits to each photo.
Cool.
Now it's now available for iOS and Android as
And
a
it's
free
free.
download. Yep, another free download.
I paid $4.99 for it before it sold to
before it
Google.
was sold, yeah. And the last one is that garbage story, not as in
Crap.
terrible, crappy story, but as in the band. You
Right.
wanted to kind of talk about that.
I guess I can talk about it because people were interested in hearing
Your thoughts
our
on it.
thoughts on it. So a photographer, don't know his name, it's probably in there somewhere. Garbage reached out to him to take to ask if they could use some of the photos that he took in the 90s for a cover of a book or in a book that Garbage was doing. He took umbrage to the fact that they asked him for free photos that weren't going to have compensation. So he wrote an open letter to Garbage and sent it back to them. No, it was an open letter, so it was an open letter, so it was already out there. So I guess Shirley Manson or whoever
Shirley
replied.
Manson is the singer.
She always replies.
She does. She's very public with... She also does open letters all the time.
Right, she does. So she replied with a long story about calling the guy... I can't say that she called him names because, look, it's a long story. We have a link to it.
Yeah.
You can read the full stories and all the responses, but she basically said, look, we're independent. We're putting out a book. We, by the way, did pay you when you did the photo shoot in the first place, and we're just asking if you would like us to use your photo for the credit. We can't pay you because we're independent and we don't have anybody else paying for the book, but they're going to charge for the book. So I see what his angle is.
I do too.
Is like, you shouldn't be doing it free. It's like me emailing you, Shirley, and saying, hey, can I use one of your songs? I can't afford it because I don't have any backing, but I'd like to use it in my video. I'm sure that wouldn't fly too well.
Well, I think one of her major points was that they're both artists, and artists tend to help out each other, and they as well also do a lot of free things for the music community.
But that's beside the point.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying
I see both sides.
I do too.
And I don't care that the guy went public with it. He said, I'm probably committed. The only thing I commented on that I didn't like that he did is saying that I'm probably committing career suicide.
Yeah.
So just own it. Just freaking own it. You're being honest and you're putting it out there. Should he have done it? I'm not going to tell you whether he should have put it publicly or not. Now that he came out with a post comment after she responded, he said he should have never done it.
Yeah, he kind of regretted the decision.
Anytime I've done this, you got to think. You don't go public first. You reach out to them.
Yeah.
If they don't respond to you and then there's an issue, then it's time to go public. So...
And I think he said initially he thought it wasn't the band behind it. Like, I think he thought it was like the record label or something, and that the band might not have even known that this had happened.
Right. It's one of those things. It's like,
but then he did talk to the band members and realized that they did know. And
it started a conversation.
Yeah.
Do I think they should be asking him for his photos for free? No. What did they pay him for back in the 90s when he shot? Was it for usage just then?
That's
or was
the
it
question.
for ownership?
There was no real details.
Which it sounds like it wasn't for ownership because she would have said, we paid you and owned the rights to those images. It was probably just usage. So it's one of those things. I can see both sides of it, but I also can't agree that if you're going to release a book and you're self-publishing it, you are going to make money off of it one way or another, and you are selling it, and you are saying that you're a musician and you're all for making, musicians helping each other, then you're not helping them by putting them in there for no payment.
Exactly.
It's hard. So the point that the photographer was trying to make is stop doing work for free.
Yeah, that was his last
Don't agree
word.
with always not doing work for free, but when it comes to doing, when it's a professional company or a band or places that do have money or are going to make money off of what you do, it's kind of hard to say, well, we can't pay you, but we are going to make money off of this. And that is what I have to say about that.
There you go.
All right?
That's photo news this week.
I have to take a pause to pee.
Okay.
So why don't we reset the camera so I can go pee and then get into flying solo?
Let's do it.
Pee pause.
Okay, I feel relieved now that I had my pee break. Right, Sutter?
go.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get the flying solo here. And I was asking for traveling type questions, being that we are about to travel. Well, we travel a lot, and we're traveling to Vegas for NAB.
To party.
Nab.
We're going to get nuts.
I like nuts. I have a lot of nuts over there because I eat nuts like nonstop. No salty ones, though. Just regular, fresh, healthy nuts. Yeah, so I asked for a lot of travel questions. And of course, people ask regular questions too, which is fine. But I wanted to hit the travel type questions just so we had a topic and something along those lines. So here we go. We've got Sarah Zimmerman. Probably Jewish. When flying, do you check your gear, carry it on, or both? This was a recurring question that a lot of people asked, so not just Sarah Zimmerman. So this is one of those questions
It's
where
a good question.
we carry as much on the plane as possible, but
The important stuff.
a lot of the important stuff, which is we carry our cameras and our lenses and our back. We take everything on the plane when we travel for RAWtalk. When we pack up 3 DSLRs, the Rode microphones, the recorders, the stands, the cables, the lenses,
Essentially everything we need.
that all goes and lights, the F&V little boys. We fit all that into one airport security.
I still can't believe it all fits in there.
It does. It all fits into one airport security.
Ends up weighing like 60 pounds.
It
but
weighs, I think, more. If they weighed it, I think they wouldn't allow me to carry it on, but they've never asked me to weigh it.
Hopefully there's no one watching from the TSA.
Well, TSA. I need to do TSA pre-check still. But so we carry that on with a a backpack that fits under the seat. That's how you get on a plane. I've also carried 3 bags on once because I was hand holding a tripod bag. You're only really supposed to have 1 bag and a man purse.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And that's your personal item. But I use a backpack that takes my laptop, my iPad, clothes. I could put cameras in it if I need to. And then Steven has another backpack with his stuff on it. But as we start traveling more and need to take more gear, especially for some shoots coming up, we are going to start checking stuff underneath the plane. DJI Phantom's going to go under the plane.
Yeah.
It's just going to. And what we'll do is we'll get a Pelican case for it. We'll put stickers on it. I'm not even going to, I'll put a TSA lock on it, but all a TSA lock does is anybody with a TSA lock key can unlock it. But at least it's one more step for protection. You've got those Temba Air cases. That's what Richie flies with his iMac 27-inch. So there's a lot of different ways that you could do things. A good rule of thumb is keep your memory cards on you. Keep something on you that you can do your job with if everything was lost. And I mean, at the end, carry your final product on you so that you have that just in case, but you have multiple backups when you go. But that answers the question of, do you do both? It depends on how much gear you have. And especially if you're flying smaller planes, you have to know what plane you're flying to know what type of bin they have so that you can think
even put it
whether
up there.
an airport security is even going to fit. Because if that doesn't fit, next course of action is to ask a flight attendant if they have a closet to put it in, which has happened before, which they've done for me because it was an older 737 and it didn't fit, or maybe it was a 57 and it didn't fit up above, which is just so weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Because it fit on every other plane, but the newer planes have more space in the bins to fit. So
yeah, I usually bring my think tank. I think it's called the Streetwalker bag.
HD
Hard
drive,
like that.
right?
No, is it? I don't know. It's a backpack pretty much, and that holds my 5D, all my lenses, everything I need. And then I'll usually bring the Atomos hard drive, all the memory cards I'll have on me, and like the laptop in the bag as well. All that on me. God forbid anything happen with any of our checked items, we have that. At least we can shoot stuff with it still. And
right. So
record and edit.
And now with more travel, we just have to figure out the cases that we want to take. And most of them, they're probably going to be Pelicans or Tembas or whatever probably Pelicans that we can put stuff in.
Just the hard case.
Yeah, because
hard case.
And you'll get it back.
Yeah.
You can't worry, and it's insured. And all of our stuff is on lens tag. But you can't worry about the stuff being stolen. That's what insurance is for, and that's why you take all integral pieces on the plane with you so that you can do a job.
Or you get a private jet.
Edward
That's the other
Sinclair.
option.
Or do you
That's true.
drive?
Or you drive.
So
Or
Edward
you walk.
Sinclair asked this a week ago somehow, and I just thought it was worthy of a question, so I saved it. What if a client asks for the raw files? Do you give them to them?
We've had this before.
Yeah, this is one of those things where, like if it's a wedding, I had somebody ask me for the raw files for a wedding because they were a photographer. They had a 5D Mark III at the time, or it was probably a Mark II with good glass, and they were amateurish. They were like a doctor or something, but they asked me for that. And do you think I'm going to turn down the $4,000 payday to say no? Do you think I'm going to do that?
No, I don't think you're going to do that.
Right, but there are people that will stand firm and be like, I'll never give my raw files. For a wedding?
Can I at least give them like DNG edited files?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's what I would end up doing.
That's what I mean, not the actual raw file itself.
What I gave the guy were the edited raw files, and I don't know that maybe I did export them as DNGs, but I was like, sure, supply me with a hard drive. I'll load them up there. Done.
Yeah.
If that's what it took to close the deal for me to make money, then that's what it took to close the deal. Now, if it's a client that's a magazine, if it's like a Rolling Stone or something like that, then you send them the raw files to get the best file, because a lot of times they want to edit it and process it their way.
Yeah.
But general people that don't know what they're doing with photography, I am not going to deliver them the raw file. I'm going to deliver you a final full res exported file with my style, because that's what you're paying for, and you can make any size print you want from it. They're still going to try to edit it anyway.
Yeah.
And you just lose control, and you just say, whatever. You really just have to let certain things go. So the only times I would really ask is if it helps seal the deal, and if it was integral to the quality of the image.
I would think I would still like to give them JPEGs though, full res, just for printing.
Well, that's
just
what
to
I
be
do.
safe.
Well,
yeah.
because they won't. How are they going to open a DNG file?
Well, that's what I mean.
How are they going to open the raw
They might
file?
not be able to even do that.
Sutter.
Yeah, I just had a shoot like 2 weeks ago for a band that
How many weeks?
Sort of 2
2 weeks. Oh man, every time
They're doing more of an abstract cover art sort of thing. So they told me out front, like, we want you to shoot our cover, but we're just going to need the raw files because they're doing some crazy weird edit with it. And I was like,
Compositing and
cool, I
stuff
don't
like
have to
that.
edit the photos. Great. And I just, I tossed them over.
That's the other thing. If you're still going to get paid the same and you don't have to edit,
It depends what
That's
it is.
fine
though.
with me.
Editing for me is important.
It is.
especially for weddings, and I want to develop process in my style.
but granted, if as long as my exposure or anything isn't crazy off and the raw
Well,
files look generally what I'm going to
right,
give them,
and that's not. That,
I don't
right.
do insane.
No, that's
editing.
a good point. The point there is a lot of people. Some people will sit there and say, "Well, you don't want to deliver them because your files are bad." And first off, I didn't deliver this guy for his wedding every raw file. I said that
that
I will
too.
give you the keepers. I will give you everything that I deliver you normally, the 450 shots or whatever it is. I will give you the raw files for those. And that's just what I did.
Yeah, I
and,
wouldn't
and
give
then
them
if
everything
you know what?
either.
If he pushed the envelope,
Give them everything.
give him everything. If he pushed the envelope and it was like that made him happy, fine, here, have it. Because I'm not worried I don't worry that my files are off. It's not that they're off by more than a quarter stop to a half a stop at
Exactly.
most. Like very rarely, like I think sometimes it's a stop at most, and that's a lot to be
Yeah.
off. But I'm not trying to hide anything. It's just that there's a style to editing. So.
I agree.
Okay. I'll try to move quicker. Darren Fellows, I'm off to Australia for 3 weeks. Good day, mate.
Hey, Darren.
Next month on holiday. What is your workflow for storing your photos when in a different country? Internet to upload to the cloud isn't going to be a possibility due to being limited to 1 gigabyte per day in the apartment. I've realized this by talking with somebody in Australia that there is a limit, their bandwidth limit per month.
Wow.
A lot of them
so
have.
we could not do RAWtalk there.
It would be very difficult unless you found a business or something that had unlimited data.
Wow.
To do that. Their internet connections are not bogged down, but they pay for it.
Yeah, they're limited.
So if I was there, the workflow solution would be SD cards, solid state, the computer, external hard drives, multiple things, no less than 3.
Yeah.
In this day and age, we've got those Lexar Hub things that are maybe not even taking those Lexar 512s. They're probably too big to travel with. But if you had memory cards to store that were really super huge, not that I would spend $900 for a 512 card, but you could store quite a bit on one compact flash.
Oh, yeah.
So that's an option. You also have the smaller hard drives. You got those 1 terabyte drives, not
like
even
the Western Digital ones, right?
the little
And they're
ones.
so
They're like
inexpensive.
$79 for 1 terabyte. Now 2 terabytes. Get a couple of those and just set up some kind of workflow.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Michael Reigert. I have been reading a lot into marketing on Facebook and recently read an article that photos receive the least amount of views of all posts while video receives the most exposure. This surprised me and was alarming as all I post are short comments with photos from sessions. Well, maybe you shouldn't do that. With that being said, I'm in the process of shooting behind the scenes videos of my sessions to increase exposure. Do you think this is going to be the future of Facebook marketing strategy? I know it's the future of Facebook marketing strategy. We've been pushing Facebook video for 6 months now since they've started to expand it and evolve it. And we're going to get to the point we do testing. And testing, there's no secret to testing. You try shit on Facebook. You try
Trial and error, man.
You try posting a photo to see how many to see if it gets more comments or not. It's not an exact science because if you post a meme that gets shared a lot and commented a lot and liked a lot, that's just an image, it can pop. Meaning, I say pop instead of viral.
But you've shared that memes a bunch of times.
I've
and
shared
it's
memes
popped.
and they've popped.
Yeah.
And they've really popped.
So it's not just video.
So some of the other things are when I want to get people back to my site and I'm trying to promote a post and I upload a really cool full res image. So for people who don't know, or maybe they've noticed this, when you put a link into your post, it will automatically grab from your website the headline
Preview.
and a paragraph and a preview, and it says upload. I used to hit the X to get rid of that preview. Then I would upload an image independently, but what you realize is when people click that image, it just opens up that image. And if you just replaced that uploaded image that they did, where they give you that place for that preview, and they click that, it launches it onto your website. So that converts much better than just an image trying to get people back to your site.
So with pages, they still let you upload and replace that preview image because I'm pretty sure with personal pages, you can't change the preview link.
Oh, I don't know. I've never noticed that.
Yeah, at least when I post YouTube videos, for example, before it would let me cycle through whatever preview
Well, you can't-
screenshots it grabbed, or I can upload my own now. It just
nowadays with posting,
That's
you,
it.
you never. Here's the thing: YouTube videos. If you post a YouTube video to Facebook, they throttle that down so far that it doesn't get seen by anybody.
Really?
Yeah, it's like if I did it, it would be like 9,000 reach instead of 50 or 60,000
Wow.
reach. They want you uploading video directly to Facebook. Facebook is a challenger directly to YouTube. It's happening. It's going to happen.
Because hey, speaking of reach and video on Facebook, I mean, how about that viral video that you put up?
So that video that popped, I
Yeah.
put up 2 videos because before I left for the photo shoot, I did how many RAW files would get on the card, that big card, and the videos are up on the site, embedded directly from Facebook. So embed the Facebook videos, which you can now embed Facebook videos on the page and comment and share and do everything right from them. That is extremely powerful and better than what YouTube lets you do.
Well, and I noticed the player itself, it seems to be a cleaner video file too.
That's what you
where
said.
The Facebook video, when it pops up in the player, it looks like crap.
So here's the numbers on the video that I put up. I put up that first video, and that popped really well. And then somebody asked, well, how many JPEGs? So I remade the video. The video that I remade that was 50 seconds, I put up on YouTube alone. Then I emailed, and I put it on my website. And then I emailed Petapixel. They put it up. That video has 41,000 views on it.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. The first video... Obviously, I put up the second video after, but the JPEG one has popped more. It had 300,000 reach, meaning it reached 300,000
Wow.
people. I only have 146,000 people.
So that's from shares.
That's from share. It had over 400 shares. It had 1,000+ likes. It had a ton of comments. So that popped really well. It had 109,000 views. 109,000 views. That's more than what my YouTube got because
It's triple.
Facebook shares it's not triple.
Almost
41,000.
And it's 110,000. It's almost triple.
Oh, it is almost triple.
There you
Right.
go.
It's 10,000 less. Facebook videos are inherently more they have more viral ability. Virality. Well, virality is something. Yeah, I say
Yeah.
virality. I like using the word virality. I don't even know if it works, but it has more virality than YouTube videos. It's just much easier. I mean, I don't know if on the website one day we just switch over to Facebook embedded videos, because I know for a while, like F-stoppers used to do, they would embed the Vimeo and the YouTube at the same time, same video, which they stopped doing. But once Facebook turns on the ability for me to monetize it with ads, and I guarantee you they won't be a 55-45 split. If Facebook wants to win this war against YouTube, they will come out with a 70-30 or
Just something.
75-25, 80-20, or at least 60-40.
It'll benefit the creator. Yeah.
It would benefit the creator more.
More, yeah.
And so Facebook, people talk about this all the time. Isn't it weird that Facebook's okay with linking you back to the website, meaning letting you click and take you to somewhere else? And the reason they're doing that is because they're going to be able to get ads off of your website soon. Google hasn't really changed their model. They've been built off of first search and then advertising. The internet is dying in the common sense of the way that the internet has been working. Web pages are not generating as much traffic. The reason they're not is because people are living in the social world. They're living on the Facebooks, they're living on the Twitters, the Instagram, and all these different places. So everything is evolving. I still love, it's still very important to have your own website, especially a portal where it's quality and people can go and come back for more. That's important. But Facebook changing and challenging YouTube with video, I know they're scared at YouTube. Wouldn't you be scared with a place that has 1.6 billion people using it? I'm looking forward to it. I upload every video that we do now, except for RAWtalk, because until it lets us do more than 45 minutes. I upload them
25 minutes, you mean?
No, it's 45 minutes.
It's 45
It's
now?
expanded
Oh,
already.
wow.
Yeah.
That was
It
fast.
expanded. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's expanding, and people are going to sit there and engage, and the analytics are going to get better, and targeting videos and advertising is going to be strong, and there's going to be a lot of money to be made for creators.
I mean, my only issue with Facebook video now is one, just the compression alone, which I've talked about before. I hate it. I think it sucks. Two, the searchable factor. There's really no way yet to do that.
So I'm curious if they're going to have a standalone, separate YouTube, Facebook video entity where you search, but actually it will all be in stream. You'll search at the top, videos.
Well, I do like that they're now having almost like a channel page now in your
Which is
official
similar,
Facebook page
right.
as a video channel page, which lets you feature videos, lets you do all that kind of stuff.
It's getting there.
They are living on Facebook
And
now.
they bought a company that's similar to Pied Piper. Pied Piper is the fictional business in Silicon Valley. If you go to piedpiper.com, it's a Squarespace site. I actually found out. But they basically shrink video without losing quality. Facebook bought a company that basically does that, so they're going to start integrating that into their thing.
Good.
So I like that question because I get to talk about stuff I really like to talk about. Aaron Hiscock. Hiscock. Hi, Jared. If you could only take one lens, a lot of people ask this question, with you on your travels, what would it be and why? If that lens wasn't right for a type of picture, would you rather not take the photo or make do with it? So that's a question that a lot of people ask. What is that
never
one lens?
answered that before.
I haven't?
No, I'm kidding. We have,
sure I have
many times.
I think one of the strongest lenses, if more versatile, is 24 to 70. Maybe pick up a 24 to 105 VR.
That would be my, or IS. Do
But
they have a
it's-
24 to 105 on
has
Nikon
a 24
side?
to 105 VR.
I would do
but
the
it's an
Canon
F4.
side. Same thing with Canon.
So it's an F4. I would have to make that decision if I was traveling the world. That gives me a little extra reach, a little extra punch.
You could do video too.
I'm not going to take a 28 to 300. I'm not going to take, because people are like, why don't you take those big lenses? Why don't you like 18 to 200s? I think somebody asked that. We'll come up with that later. Oh, the one thing I forgot to talk about earlier was the CFast cards. CFast is here. This is the dawn of the CFast era. Compact flash cards going away. No more pins. You're going to use CFast cards. One of the first quasi CFast wasn't called CFast is XQD. It's based off of the same thing that CFast is. They're like solid state drives.
Yeah,
Sony's
mini
going to lose
SSDs
this
pretty
one
much.
again because SanDisk never got behind XQD. SanDisk knew that they were going to create the CFast card.
So SanDisk is behind CFast.
Well, they're one of them. There's a
I didn't know, like-
consortium.
Yeah.
And so CFast is going to win. Canon puts it in their put it in 2 new video cameras.
Oh, yeah.
Nikon, I'm going to go out on a limb here and just say that the D5 will have 2 CFast slots, no compact flash, no XQD, done with XQD. You're going to start seeing what you're going to see, CFast and the new SD cards that are much faster. That's what you're going to see put into cameras.
Well, especially if these cameras are going to start recording 4K.
Well, yeah, they
you
need the
it.
faster cards.
Yeah.
And it's not just for
Internally.
faster internals, for faster transfers and everything. The compact flash cards have met their ceiling. They're going to be going bye-bye. CFast is here. CFast is the future.
Boom.
What one lens? Possibly the 24 to 105.
Yeah, 24 to 105 f4 IS for the Canon side would be me.
And I think that would be a good option for me. If not, 24 to 70 2.8 and just stick with it.
Yeah, or that.
Casio de Miguel. Jared, I know you prefer DSLRs over mirrorless because of ergonomics and the balance they have. That's not the only reason. But with all the concern towards packing lighter that travel photography usually has, would you consider using a mirrorless on a long trip instead of your D4S? Thanks and keep up the good work. I still don't see it as replacing either taking a D800. I could take a D750. I would take a D800. We took a D800 instead of the D4S. How much did I bitch about that before we went to Germany and Poland?
Yep.
I was like, I'm not doing it. And then I'm like,
Wait,
you know what?
Was that the D810?
It was a D810.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's take the D810,
then you
and
fell
I
in love with
absolutely
it.
loved it.
Yeah.
It just didn't have a grip, and that was the only thing I didn't like.
Which is an easy way to.
I know you
can
may need
fix
to
that.
pack lighter, then just take a different body and different lenses, or the same lenses. Because the thing that people are running into with the mirrorless cameras is if you want quality glass, then it starts to get to the same size as the DSLR glass. It may be a little smaller and a little lighter, but there's trade-offs to both, pros and cons. I'm sure the Sony A7S or whatever, the A7 II, whatever the new full-frame mirrorless is probably pretty darn good.
A7 II, I
But
believe
you're
is
still
latest.
putting big-ass lenses on it.
Yeah.
Noella Jose Photo. Should I invest in a travel camera, quote unquote? Mirrorless cameras are affordable, can have excellent quality, a small form factor. A 5D will attract criminals looking for easy targets. Bullshit.
He's got a 5D. Get him.
And don't forget to have the right power adapter for the country you are visiting. Well, I don't know how that falls in at the bottom of the question. I hate the statement. One, I hate quote unquote travel camera. I've said this before. You own a camera system. Why are you going to take a different camera away to travel with, especially if you know the quality may be less? You already own the gear. You may be going to one place for the first time and the only time that you go there. Why would you take your less quality with you, already knowing that? So I'm not a big fan. 1 second. 5D, and I hate the statement that you will attract criminals looking for easy targets. Anybody that looks like a tourist that has a camera is an easy target. It's just that way. Holding your 5D and a lens, yeah, it's a bigger lens and a bigger camera. Are you bigger target? I don't know. Don't worry about this crap. Sutter?
I guess, in my opinion, it depends on what sort of traveling you're doing.
That's what I was thinking too.
Because, like, if you're road tripping, you can. For me, I bring almost every piece of gear I have. But if you're backpacking or camping, you might not want to add 20 pounds to your pack to have a 5D and a couple lenses.
Right.
Where, you know, a Fuji
But are you backpacking
X100,
for a photo gig, or are you backpacking the backpack?
I mean, I guess it could be both. I mean,
I
the
think-
X100T is great if you are backpacking for a photo gig because you have the Wi-Fi transfer right to your phone. You can edit stuff and put it right up.
Yeah,
If you're
if you-
like blogging or doing some sort of story.
I think it comes down to, is it personal or is it for work? If it's personal, I'm bringing something smaller.
Take whatever the hell you want.
Yes. If it's for work, I am bringing my best gear.
I'm always thinking about work. Now, on the Fuji X100T, it's a very limiting camera, being that it's a fixed focal length lens,
I mean, there's pros and cons at both ends for sure. But
and there's lots of cons to that camera, for that
For that purpose.
For that purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. Johans, Johannes. That's Johans, right?
I think.
Silent J, jogging. Johans Halmund. Halmund. Question and advice. Really? Is it a question or is it advice? What bitrate are you recording onto your Atomos?
Oh, that's a good question. We're recording ProRes LT. I don't know exactly
Which LT is smaller.
It's the smaller bitrate. I don't know what the actual bitrate transfer is, though.
I don't know what it is. Was it like 39?
No. It's more than that. It's because it's ProRes. I don't know. I'd have to get back to him on that.
And how come you haven't tried the Panasonic's GH4 yet, especially for RAWtalk? Apparently, the US version can record beyond 2959. 4K at 100 megabits a second gives incredible detail with small files compared to the Atomos, and your new Apple computers should shoot through that footage with ease. Well, no. I don't like the GH4. I know I haven't used it, but it's not a full-frame 4K camera. It's smaller. I've heard a lot of different things about the ISO capability not being so good, especially with the 4K. Then you're buying a whole new setup. I'd rather have a Canon camera. I'd rather have that new Canon one, even though that's not full frame. I think that's going to create something better. Creating a smaller bitrate file doesn't mean that it's going to be better. That's more compressed.
Yeah. I will say I have seen GH4 comparison videos to the 5D Mark III video footage, and the GH4 does seem to be the winner on most fronts when it comes to just overall sharpness and compression, but it all depends what codec you're using, I guess.
Right, and there's a lot of post-processing.
And now Canon has that new codec, which is supposed to be better. It's supposed to be similar to that H.264, where it's higher quality but smaller
I just
file
didn't want to
size.
use a GH4.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just don't want to use the GH4.
Well, I think
you got to
comes-
get a whole line of lenses, got to get the adapters, got to do all this other stuff.
Yeah, well, and if I'm shooting at it from a perspective of a photographer, I just ergonomic-wise, I'm not used to something like that. I haven't personally used it, so I can't say much about it.
No, and right now we wouldn't shoot at 4K doing RAWtalk.
I just think with our
Yet.
workflow and the already 10 gig file size that we're uploading to YouTube a week, it's a lot to add to that and make it 4K.
Leslie Ann Prince, have you ever...
Data standpoint, storage-wise.
Leslie Ann Prince, have you ever forgotten, lost anything while traveling? Have you ever had anything stolen? Insert lens tag plug here, they said. Check out lens tag. Protect your gear. You have nothing to lose but your gear. In all seriousness, lens tag is awesome. Oh, hey, thanks.
Hey.
I'm glad you plug it all the time. Oh, I plug it all the time, all right. Have the airlines ever lost your luggage with something important in it? So that was a lot of questions.
That seemed just more like
it's more
comments.
just, have you lost anything?
Yeah. that was I think it ended on the question, right?
No, it kept going. It ended on, have the airlines ever lost your luggage with something important in it?
I feel like the question was before the insert lens
Have you
tag
ever
plug
forgotten,
thing.
lost anything while traveling? The one thing I forgot or lost was when I first got my iPad, I took it to Vegas with me, and I was packing my bag, and I had the charger on my bed, and because it was white and the bedspread was white, I didn't see it, and I left it there. The charger, not the iPad.
Not the worst thing.
Not the worst thing, but wasn't too happy because I was brand new, and it's like $30 to replace it. But more so, luckily, no, because I really haven't checked a lot of stuff in the airplanes. So that's that. Have you lost anything?
I don't think I have. I mean, I triple check every time I'm in a hotel room. Even when we're away, we do the dummy check every time.
Yeah, we do a dummy check right before we leave every room.
Every single time.
You do it, I do it, we check. Dummy check. You always do dummy checks. Check every
Plus,
drawer and everything.
I actually live out of my suitcase most of the time.
I don't unpack.
Yeah, I don't either.
Actually, I don't bring clothes.
Well, you don't bring anything. I leave everything pretty much in the suitcase so I can just throw in there. Mine is what I need to bring in the bathroom for showering or something like that. That's it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Anton Drummond. Hello, Jared and both Stevens. As a second shooter for a wedding photographer, I am allowed to use my images for my own website, and there are 2 questions that I have. When I'm posting images to my website, should I avoid posting the same image that the photographer that I worked for uses on his website? That is an interesting question. If you're shooting for somebody else, it's really... If you're shooting for somebody else, it's one of those things where... if they say it's okay for you to use the images, that's cool, but it's not good to have the same images on both people's sites, especially if you're local and people look at somebody's site and go, oh man, well, why is your image here?
Who took which
Why
one?
is that there? So I wouldn't use the same images. It's okay to use the best of the best, I think, but if they're the same, I wouldn't use it. When using those images that I had taken for my own site, should I give credit to the photographer that I did work for? Absolutely not. Should not give them the credit for it.
For the image you took.
For the image that you took for using it. But even if somebody is shooting for you, I will put it together to show the images, but if somebody asks me who shot it, I will say that's the second shooter's image and stuff like that, but I don't post that on the website. Thank you guys for all you do and for constantly cranking out great content. Yes, Sutter.
I've actually been in the exact situation that he just mentioned. I second shot a wedding with Leora. As Jared cracks
Let
his
me
knuckles.
crack my knuckles.
Wait.
Oh, I already cracked mine. So.
I second shot a wedding with Leora, and she was like, yeah, you can use all your photos wherever, however. But then I didn't want to post anything that was similar to hers, whether it was just my choice. I'm sure she wouldn't have cared, but I also wasn't linking on my site back to hers. So I just have a couple images on my site from that wedding.
Yeah, so
I just thought were good.
Here's another thing with weddings. When it's my wedding and I had a second shooter, they would give me all their files and I would edit them. I don't want them editing the files just because it's my style and I want to go with my style. If I'm shooting for somebody else, I am giving them the raw files and they are editing them and they own them for that shoot. And I always make sure to say that, yes, I can use them in my portfolio, same thing like that. But I just haven't run into that situation.
It would be weird though to have 2 different kind of edit styles in one
yes.
gallery or something.
Absolutely, because you're just trying to drive your type of style.
Yeah.
Stephen Spalding, when traveling internationally, do you get separate insurance for your gear or rely on your standard insurance?
That's a good question as well.
My insurance already covers me around the world.
I have no idea if mine does.
I don't know.
I
Yours
gotta
probably
check.
could fall under mine.
Yeah.
Possibly for my business. But that's something, in the meantime, you should all have a lens tag just to make sure that everything is on there. Why? Because the slogan is, you have nothing to lose but your gear. Coined recently. Andy Bodegaleri. If you were traveling to a music festival, what would be the best way to keep your gear safe while still being able to carry it around easily during the festival? This is how I keep my gear safe while I'm at a festival. I don't ever let my gear go.
I was gonna say, I keep it on my back at all times.
A backpack is good, but something that you can shoot out of. Always have some kind of raincoat because it always rains at a festival. It never fails.
Every time.
It's rained. Well, it depends on what you're doing.
Yeah.
But
Poncho.
always have some kind of coverage for covering you and covering your cameras to make sure that you are safe and sound if it's going to rain.
And that means rain cover for the bag and for the camera itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All rain covers for everything, and especially for the hair. Because that one day I wore my think tank
you had it
shower
on top
cap. I
of-
wore that.
yeah.
No, I wore that out when it was raining during one of the concerts.
That's funny.
So that's what I would do for that.
I hate shooting in the rain.
Jeffrey Fredericks. Yo, Fro and crew.
Yo,
1990s Coogee
Coogee
sweater
sweater.
Now. What up, Coogee sweater? Yeah, huh. Yeah, what? Coogee sweater now, rubbing that Coogee sweater. Boop, boop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't born in the 90s, what?
yeah.
What would you recommend as a portable backup for memory cards while traveling, laptop or something else? So being that this is travel related.
I'm sorry, what was the question one more time? What was...
What would you recommend as a portable backup for memory cards while traveling? Laptop or something else? Multiple something else's is what I go for. Always. You've got your memory cards, which somebody asked, do you reformat your cards? Yes, I will reformat them if I run out of them and I need more, but I make sure that I'm backed up at least 2 other places. Computer is one place and an external hard drive is another, and sometimes there's double hard drives plus cards. Just as many backups as you can do is what it's all about.
Well, I was telling Sutter I was getting new cards for RAWtalk today to reformat for these cameras that we're using, and I try to cycle them through so I still have content that's not fully edited and uploaded yet, still on those cards.
Yeah.
And then I'll use the ones that I've already have uploaded. I'll use them today, reformat them, but I use the other cards as a separate backup just in case, God forbid, something happens.
Sydney Perksy. Hi, Jared. Do you have any suggestions for traveling with expensive gear and not looking like a target in remote destinations? And do you have a go-to gear bag / backpack? If so, what is in it? So I used to travel around with the Think Tank Retrospective 35 version 2. Nope. Urban Disguise 35 version 2 was that backpack. That was good because it fit my 13-inch laptop.
You love that.
As soon as I got a 15-inch laptop, I had to graduate to the Urban Disguise 50 or 40. I think it's the 40.
I think
It's
40.
the 40 version 2. Now I have the leather one because that's what they had.
It's a nice one.
That fits my 15-inch laptop. That fits my D4S with a 24 to 70 on it, with a 14 to 24 and a 70 to 200 in the bag. I would shoot, and it has a shoulder strap.
Yeah.
And you have to buy the backpack strap for it, but that is my go-to bag for traveling. I take it on the plane with me. If I'm going to shoot, I can take the backpack strap off and just use the shoulder bag. It's not as easy to shoot out of as a shoulder bag.
Definitely not.
But this bigger bag is much better than the 35. The 35 was tight and it was hard to shoot out of. Now I can just...
That was more like a backpack, I feel like.
Right. But now I can move the inserts from the inside and have the lenses sitting there, quickly put them in, change them to shoot on the go.
Boom.
That's the bag that I use on the go. So that's what I put in it. So I answered that question. Chris Culnany the third. Hello, yous guys. Jared and the Stevens.
Yo.
What's up, y'alls? What has been some of your favorite food experiences while traveling?
Oh, eating with you.
Yeah. Eating with me is not easy because I'm very particular in where we eat. We will walk into a place, and if I don't like the way that it looks...
We'll walk into 7 places.
Yeah, but it's not about how it looks. It's like if I get a glimpse of the food and it looks either fast foody or it looks like a chain restaurant.
Chicken.
Unless it's a chain restaurant like in Poland where we ate at... Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh.
You knew that was going to be consistent.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was good.
We're like, we just want American food.
And that was good.
Yeah.
So that worked out well. But in Germany, it was hard. We went to like 5 or 6 different places,
That was
and
tough.
I looked at menus. Look, I've gotten to a place where if there isn't, I know I have to eat. You know, you have to eat, but I also know that you have to eat well to sustain your traveling and to sustain your health. If you don't eat enough protein and you don't eat properly on the road, you're going to get sick with all that travel. So I like to eat pretty well. So that means when we go into a place, if I look at a menu and I don't see anything I want, I'm like, nope, next place. And we just have to keep looking.
And I'm just like, oh, well, Jared likes it, so I'll find something.
Yes, Sutter?
I just wanted to insert my little travel eating. So road trips, whatever's in your car.
Hedgehogs.
So
Today's menu, hedgehog.
today's menu, ramen,
Oh, no.
Chef Boyardee,
Oh, Jared would
So
love
the opposite
that.
of eating well.
oatmeal, whatever you can just heat water up and add into your salad.
Ron Giotti. I am curious if when traveling, where it is available, is it better idea to rent gear like lighting backup bodies and the like to lighten the load, or better to just bring everything with you? Would one or the other make more sense for a monetary standpoint? Thanks. Love the show. Look,
question.
if you're working quite often and you own all the gear, it's going to save you money over renting it. But we have some shoots coming up where we'll probably have the gear meet us at our destination and then ship it back from our destination so we don't have to fly with it and pay for it. I still like traveling with most of the gear because, except for big lighting, you can rent lighting kits anywhere in the country.
Locally.
Like, yeah, you can always pick that up. Just make sure you do that beforehand. You tell them you have your insurance
schedule it
ready.
out, yeah.
You have it all so that it's there, and you have a backup plan, a secondary one if something goes wrong. But it's not like I want to travel with the Kino flows. But if you're going to remote areas, you just have to figure out how to pack and what you're going to take. It's either or. If you don't own the gear and you have a big job, then make sure you build in enough price to rent the gear, and then you're good to go. Ray J. Prusik. I'm heading to Disney World this weekend for the next week.
Yeah.
Next week, do you think
hi to Mickey.
Do you think a Canon 24-72.8 version 2 paired with my 6D is a good walk-around combo? I will have my 70 to 200 with me, but don't plan to lug it around all day. This is where that 24 to 105 may come in handy. This is where those longer ones, yeah, I mean, that's tough. It comes down to choosing one lens. Some people will be like, well, take a 28 to 300. You can, and their family, that's up to you. It's personal preference. I'm not sure that I want to do that, but then again, maybe a 28 to 300 would be a good everything because you can shoot 28, you can shoot 300. But then I always kick myself in the nuts because I'm like, I didn't get the quality I wanted to get.
Well, and I wonder, is he shooting at night? Is he shooting during the daytime?
And are you there with your family playing around? If you're playing around,
are you
and I don't like to
pictures of
delineate,
landmarks?
but I don't like to delineate between playing around and good photos because I think you're going to get good. You get good photos whenever you get good photos. But if you're looking to enjoy your day, then just take one lens to rule them all, to make it easy. Take one little hip bag that has the ability to have your camera
pack
with one lens on it. Is it a 24 to 105? Is it a 24 to 200? Is it 28 to 300? Whatever it is that's easy for you to carry around. You also have to remember that a lot of these parks, if you're going to go on the rides, you're not allowed to take your cameras with you, and you can't leave it sitting off to the side or somebody's going to take it so somebody can't ride. What I do recommend is that you hire somebody and hire them for the day to just be a gopher and hold your shit and hold the stroller and
camera caddy.
And hire a Sherpa to go around Disney. I'm surprised Disney doesn't have Sherpas to go with you. They have everything else, which my buddy in Detroit, they're going to Disney. Disney shipped the whole family their wrist their RFID tags.
My sister
So
got that
cool.
too.
I didn't
You
know
don't
that
have to carry cards or cash or anything.
Yeah.
It's just all on your band.
When I went to Disney the first time, I mean, we had Disney dollars. You could get Mickey dollars.
Yeah.
They had money, and you could buy like balloons and
Dude, the
and
Disney
guns
app
and stuff.
is great. You can find when all the ride times are.
We
You can
should
see
go.
how busy each line is.
Well, you know, we should go, but we should get automatically connect. Do you work at Disney? Because I would like us to do something from Disney.
I've never been to Disney.
What?
I would like us to go to Disney and do a RAWtalk from Disney, or just go around Disney and have fun with special privileges to get on rides without waiting in line. That is the most fun.
Get out of here, little kid.
Get out of here, little kid in a wheelchair. Boom.
That's terrible.
I wouldn't actually do that. But it's like, but no.
I will say, when I went to Disney recently, which was just, 2 months ago, I would not have
By
enjoyed...
2 months, you mean December.
Yeah,
That's
or maybe
4 months.
4 months ago. I would have not enjoyed bringing my 5D or any DSLR. I actually was going to bring your X100T, which I did bring on the trip, but I forgot the actual strap for it. So I didn't bring any camera with me.
I don't want to
and I
shoot
used my
pictures
phone.
in there.
I
Yeah,
used my
I
phone,
mean-
but it was vacation for me.
Right.
That was my time to just enjoy it. I don't know.
But that's the thing. It's like if I'm there having fun, I'm having fun. I don't want to
Yeah,
take pictures.
me
If
too.
it's a job, it's a different story.
Completely
Then
different.
we're bringing everything. But I don't want to be bothered taking snapshots.
I just don't know if I could lug around that thing all day.
Even I don't want to take an X100T around.
Yeah.
Because now I have to keep it attached to me. It's one
Well,
more thing.
We went on water rides. I was afraid that I was going to get something wet if I did bring it.
What I would do, though, is carry a selfie stick with a GoPro.
My friend did have it.
She should have never had this. And they're starting to ban these from parks,
Are
which
they?
they should.
Yeah.
It's a weapon. I mean, you think about it.
That's true. I should try to fly with the TSA.
you
What?
smack someone
What? It's
with
my
that?
selfie stick. It's my selfie stick. All right, a couple more questions, and then it's time for Wheel of Fro.
All right.
Nicole Ortiz. Hi, Jared and Stevens.
Hey.
What airline do you prefer to travel on? Does one treat you and your equipment better than the others? Oh, there's so that's a good question because no, not every airline treats you. We fly US Air, which now has just merged with American. The reason we fly them is because their hub is out of Philadelphia, which means that they have more nonstop flights going to different places that we end up going to because
more.
there is nothing worse than taking a 2-hour flight and making it 6 hours of travel because you have to stop in Atlanta to then go to Florida.
Yep.
There's nothing that is the biggest waste of time. I'd rather spend $120 more to get there 4 hours early than to sit around wasting time in an airport. God, that sucks.
I mean, it all comes down to if you're on a budget or not, really.
Of course it does.
Yeah, and how much time
we
you have,
used to
obviously.
take and sign up for their credit cards.
Because they give you 50,000 bonus points.
Well, you get
right?
50,000 bonus points, which can equal some free trips. And when you spend money, yes, there's like $100. It costs me $100 a year to have that card. I still have my Southwest card, which is $100 a year as well, just in case we do take Southwest. I just keep that as a backup business card. I don't have a lot of cards. We used to fly a lot of Southwest, but they don't go direct out of to like most of the places out of Philly
anywhere.
now. So I don't really take it very often.
Well, and I think the good thing too about the credit card is that you get to board almost first. You get priority
zone
boarding,
1 or 2,
which is great if we're bringing gear on because they never have enough headspace overhead space, to put all your gear in.
That's a thing that you have to take into consideration. If you are traveling a lot, having that card sometimes gets you free checked baggage, up to 2 bags, which means you're not spending an extra $40, $50, $60 on baggage. And then you can ask for the media rate, which I need to print that out on my phone, the American Airlines one, and just say, look, this is media. I'm going to pay less.
I keep
because
forgetting
it's media.
that they have that.
But you just mention it. So that's something to do. And do certain airlines treat you better? Absolutely. I think, but it also depends on the people. I think Southwest is very accommodating. US Air is pretty shitty.
Yeah, I think Southwest planes are a little nicer too.
Well, no, Southwest only flies 737s.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
What I think US Air has a lot of newer planes in the fleet, some A321s,
Really?
Airbuses. Yeah, the A321s, they're longer than the I've never flown a 737-800 series yet. That's longer and
giant
newer.
one, right?
Well, it's not giant. A 747 is giant. A 777 is giant. The A330 that we flew from Germany home, which was 242 configuration, was a behemoth.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was cool. Mm-hmm. And the bigger the plane, the less turbulence you have.
There you go.
Aaron Kamer, one more question. Why one more question? Did you ask 2? If I may. Oh, no, you may not. Do you reuse memory cards when traveling, or do you leave all images? I answered that earlier. I try not to reuse cards until I absolutely need to.
Me too.
Because I just try to leave stuff there. Fernando Fernie, gear breaks during travel. How do you go about replacing or renting the broken gear in an unfamiliar city? What do you do? It's what ... do ... you ... do ? Question mark. You put a call out onto social media. Does anybody in this area have gear that you could use? Can you get another thing replaced? Can you walk into Best Buy and buy something? Can you go to a camera store and use it and then return it?
I mean,
last resort.
You're probably SOL.
Let's get Wheel of Fro
probably
going.
SOL on that.
But that's no, you just need to have a backup plan.
Well, yeah.
You need a backup plan. Ask people. You can get. There's a lot of photographers in the area that may be able to help you out. I know that if I, being that I have a reach, was able to said
with you, it's a way different story than the average photographer who goes and loses
But an
his
average
gear.
photographer who goes, "Hey, Jared, shit, this just happened," and then I go and if you know people, like they send me a message like, this happened, I need to borrow gear real quick for this job. Can you connect me with somebody in the area? I can say, hey, anybody in Topeka, Kansas, can you help this guy?
There you go. Lose
Oh
your
my
gear,
God.
contact Jared.
No, don't contact me. Go on Lens Tag. How much time? So I know.
8 minutes.
So that is flying solo.
Boom.
Was that good or bad?
Excellent.
I hope so. Guess what time it is, guys?
What time is it?
It's Wheel of Fro time.
Flying solo?
What? No. Let's talk about Wheel of Fro. This is a thing that we spin almost every week when we can.
What is this thing?
On the wheel, we
Never seen it
have
before.
Think Tank Photo. Give you a nice bag if you do land on that. We've got Audio Blocks. Go to audioblocks.com/go/fro to get your 7-day free trial. Credit card required. When you enter to get that, we used the audio earlier. We've been using it in a ton of videos. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/fro to get your 10% off. But first, you get a 14-day free trial. No credit card needed. And if you decide that it is for you, go ahead and use the code FRO to get 10% off your first year, which means each month is $8 freaking bucks. And if you sign up for a year, it's $8. And they also give you a free domain name, which is a $12.99 value for the first year. You can't really go wrong with that.
It's like Netflix,
Lightroom,
but cheaper.
Basically. Lightroom, Creative Cloud, Rode microphones. We use the Rode Broadcaster mics here. I have the Rode Podcaster on my computer. We have some Smart Labs. We have some Rode Video Mic Go's. So there's a lot of different options for, there's a $99 Video Mic Go. If you just want better audio, better than the ME1 that Nikon sells, the Video Mic Go is a really good one for $99.
These arms are theirs too.
These Rode arms are theirs as
Yeah.
well that we've been using. Question mark means if it lands on that, you get anything on the wheel except the Grand grand prize. Borrow lenses, $250 in credit. We just picked up some Borrow lenses stuff to go to NAB with. We've got the Fro prize, plastic printers, 250 business cards, video blocks, videoblocks.com/go/Fro. Same story as above. Squarespace again. Black Rapid for the strap. Rode microphone. The grand prize is a Atomos Ninja 2. 600. I say that every week. $699 value if it ever lands there. If not, then it doesn't land there.
I hope it
Maybe
does.
we'll just do a spin where everybody wins that.
What we need to do is have like confetti and balloons on standby every time.
Well, we have extra confetti.
We
ready.
do.
Adorama picks, you get some free stuff. Fro prize and back to the top. Do you want to reset it before I spin? Or no?
There's like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. So that is that. Who am I spinning for? I don't know. I don't want to tell you yet. But it's going to be somebody.
Because you don't even know yet.
No, I do know.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be somebody.
Cool.
Sutter. Guess what time it is? Oh, no, wait. Sutter. What time is it? No, really, what time is it? Go ahead.
Wheel of Fro!
Sweet Coochie sweater, bro.
Not on the wheel this week. Coochie sweaters. That is the hardest spin I've ever done. My neighbor's like, he'll text up, what is that sound? Why is that so loud? Around and around it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. The Wheel of Fro is about to stop on.
No grand prize.
On.
Your
Fro prize! Oh my God! So congratulations to Michael Reigart on getting a Fro prize.
What was his question again?
His question was the one about Facebook and marketing and all that stuff.
Your favorite
because I like
question.
talking
You
about
love
business.
that.
I love it. I love it so much.
I love it. Song? That was weird.
Oh, was that the noise? It was like it
just squeaked.
I think the wheel just talked to us.
It just farted, I
It was
think.
just like.
Just let out a little burp.
I was like, leave me alone.
So, guys, we have reached the end of the Raw Talk episode number 128. You can go to fronosphoto.com/rawtalk1. RAWtalk-128 to get all the photo news stories and more. We talked about quite a lot. We are heading to Vegas. We are not doing a Raw Talk while there, but we may film a segment for ourselves up in our hotel room, which will be fun. We are going to NAB. Sutter, what is it called? NAB. We're going there. Courtesy, thank you to Audio Blocks, Video Blocks, and Graphic Stock for basically paying the way. They are the ones who are paying us to go there so that we can make the content to show you guys all of the toys that we will be playing with at NAB. It's always nice when people want to pay you to go places.
And buy these Coochie sweaters.
They didn't buy these Coochie sweaters. Should we wear these? Should I give Todd one? And we just come walking down in this stuff? I would rock the Coochie sweater.
I got to give you the sweat outfit.
I would rock it, but it doesn't say with I Shoot Raw Coochie sweater embroidered.
That would be awesome.
So, yeah. So that's it. That's it, guys, right?
That's it, yeah.
All right. So there you guys have it. That's Raw Talk episode number 128. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See you.